Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crackers and Milk. This is your host, David. I am joined by Mike and Jacob.
Thank you.
Today, we are...
Are you thanking him that you got mentioned first?
I guess. I know. Oh, dear.
Yes. We are talking about 13 going on 30 today. Jake has our synopsis, and I have our paragraph.
A girl who's sick of the social strictures of junior high is transformed into a grown-up overnight. In this feel-good fairy tale, teenager Jenna, played by Krista B. Allen, wants a boyfriend, and when she's unable to find one, she fantasizes about being a well-adjusted adult. Suddenly, her secret desire becomes a reality, and she is transformed into a 30-year-old, Jennifer Garner. But adulthood, with its own set of male-female challenges, isn't as easy as it looks.
Yes. So why I chose 13 going on 30. I remember seeing this movie a long time ago in the movie theater, and this is around the time where Jennifer Garner, this was her big moment, and her big break. And I really liked it then. And I really, when I bought it on DVD, I enjoyed watching it then. Now, fast forward 10, 15 years later, Jennifer Garner was great and innocent and believable 10 to 15 years ago. Now, when you watch it in your eyes now as an adult or older, it's harder to believe. It's harder to believe.
Oh, I disagree.
Okay. But then I re-examined that today just to double check, and it became. I wasn't super surprised that my opinion of it changed a little bit more to be more positive of her. You can still kind of believe her innocence a little bit more now. I think the thing that really I loved about this is the music that draws you in. You know, you have Love is a Battlefield, you have Thriller, you have Ice Ice Baby, Why Can't I Breathe, I think that's one of them, and Jesse's Girl, Crazy For You by Madonna, just those sorts of things.
The Go-Go's, the Talking Heads.
Yeah, where it drew you in to being taking you back to your childhood with listening to these great songs when you were growing up. And then the nostalgia that she tried to establish in her 30s when she tried to recreate the magazine she was working for, of this innocence sort of movement of going to a dance and just having fun, the great things about life. And that's some of the reason, as I watched it again today, I think that's some of the reason why I chose it more, because it's like, oh, you know, it's not as bad as I thought the first time I watched it to prepare for this. The second time I watched it again, it was like, okay, yeah, it's not bad.
How is this your movie and not Mike's? Mike loves it way more than you do.
Mike does love it.
That's okay.
But he chose the Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yep, who knows?
And I had 13 going on 30.
That's all good. But everything Dave said, I agree with.
Yeah.
Like, those are the things I wrote down. It was this young love, and how is she going to bridge that young love now that she's an adult, and how does she be an adult? It's kind of like Big.
It kind of is like Big, but without the creepy. Everybody else around her got older too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I agree. That everything that Dave just said, I was like, yes. Yeah, it's very fun.
It'd been a long time since I've seen it. This is only the second time I've seen this movie. Yeah. But she was perfect acting like a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, okay.
Like, she doesn't want to get in the car with the stranger.
Yeah.
Just get in the car.
The first thing she does is call her mom.
Yeah. Right. And I think watching it again to make sure on it again today because, like, I know I have an initial response, and sometimes that initial response is hard, where it's like, okay, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But then when you give it another shot, and you're just like, okay, I'm just seeing, and then just kind of losing yourself, getting caught into the music, and then seeing the change in her where you realize that she was a nasty woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's trying to change it, or she's just trying to be like, wait, hold on. I became that person?
Yeah.
Holy cow. I'm terrible. And then she gets the opportunity to go back and be like, oh, I'm not going to... She realizes it's not that important for her to be part of the popular group and all this stuff.
I think what really changes her mind is when she gets in the cab to go try and see Matt before he gets married.
Yeah.
Chris Grady.
Yeah.
Is the cab played by Jim Gaffigan. So weird. I didn't realize that was Jim Gaffigan. Because he was the dream guy, and she got to go to prom with him, and then he's driving a cab. Nothing against cabbies.
Some of them make dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminded me of this one girl that I overheard talk. She said she'll only date Latinos because one of her reasons was, well, have you ever seen a bald Latino? And at that time, it was like 10, 15 years ago when I overheard it. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen one. And now, I'm like, I've seen a lot of bald Latinos.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
They're all over. And then I go, and when I've subbed as a teacher, I would look around sometimes and be like, which one of you boys is going to go bald? I know you guys are going to go bald. Because it's like, we don't know what we're going to look like. We can go bald. And so it's like, it's just kind of like that, where it's just kind of funny.
No, I'm not going bald.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, when you're young, you never think you're going to go bald, but then you get Chris Grandy, and it's like, oh, yeah, you never know
overweight
what will happen.
and driving a cab.
Never know what will happen to you. Never.
Yeah, don't peak in high school, kids. That's the lesson of this movie. Don't peak in high school.
Don't peak in high school. And be nice to other people.
Yes, be nice to other people.
Nice to other people. Okay, then surprises. So the actors, you had Jennifer Garner, Mark Ruffalo, I think this is his
second time on our list.
Yeah, also his romantic comedy sort of height for it all.
Yeah,
because I don't think he does very many after this one and Just Like Kevin. I think those two are his big ones. Judy Greer, she's funny. Lucy.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis, who, he's on Lord of the Rings, and
Gollum. You get to see Gollum do the moonwalk in this.
So he does a good job, and then we've talked about Jim Gaffigan. And then the young Matt.
Young Matt.
Do you know who he is?
I looked him up, but I didn't.
He's on the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
And he's the guy with the ponytail who does the sax.
That's so
I haven't
great.
seen the Goldberg since probably the first season.
But he's that guy. He's the young Matt. And you're just like, oh my gosh. That's so
awesome.
true. And he always wears, is it Rat? I think or Styx t-shirts. Styx.
Yeah.
And then in the Six Chicks, a young Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, is in this movie. I was like, what? I was shocked when she was in this movie. Personally
Everybody
speaking.
had to start somewhere.
Yep. So, but it was just a nice surprise to see her in where she kind of got started, and where it was a big, not a huge role for her, but it was big, and it got her to where she eventually became what she is now.
One of my favorite parts of this movie is when she's lost, and so she goes home, and her parents come in.
Yeah.
And the way she grabs onto her dad. Oh. As a father. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good part. And I'll always remember Thriller. Every time.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why sometimes I just go right to
To
Thriller.
Thriller. Oh yeah,
I
they
just
do
watch that, and
such a
then I
great job.
take it right out of the DVD player. I'm like, well, I watched what I wanted to watch.
Like, you can tell. So you can tell Jennifer Garner practiced it really well, and she knew what she was doing in the dancing.
Yeah.
But then you could tell Michael Ruffalo didn't, and that's good.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, I know. He wasn't very confident.
I haven't done this since we were kids.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he's still like, you could tell that he was not confident and being like, oh, I don't know, but he got a hold of it eventually, and he was okay with it.
Yeah.
And that was cool to me. I thought that was really believable and cool.
And then after they shared their first kiss, and she's telling the story to all those girls, all the teenage girls that she's friends with in the building,
That's right.
and then they're all singing along with Pat Benatar.
Love is a battlefield. I do like that part. That part, like, I think that's the part that I think introduced me to Pat Benatar. And just like, oh, I love that song, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
It's a
Just
funny
awesome.
movie. It's a cute movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's heartwarming.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like, it's nice to see she gets another opportunity to see what her life could have been like. Like, she got all her wishes that she wanted.
Yeah. There's been plenty of movies that follow the same route, that you get to see what your future is, but you get to go back
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and start over again.
Yeah.
So don't make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Right.
And when she comes back and then she kisses Matt, and then the tom-tom comes down and she rips the paper up and like, you could be your own kettle and pot, biatch. What'd you call me?
And then she's like, oh, we gotta hurry. Oh, what are we hurrying for? And then they just run out, and then you see Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's
And their
really
pink
cool.
house. And
Yeah.
What are they eating?
Oh, my.
Razzles.
Razzles.
I don't even know what that is, so.
Yeah.
I looked it up. It's it's like pop. What are those things that pop
Pop
rocks?
rocks.
Pop
They're
rocks?
pop rocks that turn into gum. So you chew them, they pop, and then they turn into gum.
Yeah.
Razzles,
Huh.
owned by Nestle, I think now,
Yeah.
or something. Yeah. Owned by someone, somewhere, making lots of money.
We have no sponsors.
No sponsors at all.
That's true.
Which is okay.
I got a best line that there's funny lines. Eminem's on the phone. He wants an answer now. Plane? Peanut. Plane. It's so true because Eminem didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was funny too is J-Lo. J-Lo was on the cover, on their cover, and I thought it was funny because it's a Jennifer Garner movie. J-Lo's on it, and like, I think this is maybe around the time of Benifer,
Which one?
the J-Lo and Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
that one, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. That was the only thing I found, like, one of the things that I found funny in it.
Because Jennifer Garner later married Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Mike was looking a little lost in the woods.
Totally
Yeah,
lost.
sorry.
Another one that I liked in there that she wouldn't understand as a kid is when her boyfriend, who's your daddy? Wayne Rink. So good.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I liked it when Judy Gar said, "Hey, that guy's like
Checking
at the
you
bar
out.
checking you out," and she's like, "No, he's not."
Oh,
and then she goes
so
over to the
good.
13-year-old and is like, "Hey, can I borrow your cat?" Sure. I'm only over here because, hey, do you want to hang out or go on a date or something? And he's like, sure.
Yeah.
He gets this thing. When do you want to go out? Or like, no, she says, I think you're cute. Oh, hey, you want to go out? No, you don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, Lucy tells her,
Yeah.
get out of there.
Yes.
Oh, so funny. Oh, but yeah.
Well, one of my favorite lines. Jenna, my balls. Excuse my French. are in an iron vice.
Right. That's his boss saying. That's her boss, right?
Her boss,
Yep.
yes.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, how is it okay if can you hold on to your balls until 5? Well, like you just said something. Oh, funny. Just a good movie.
Yes, it is.
Really good movie. The music
movie.
is fun, and
I'm glad you brought up the music. I didn't even think of that. I just watch it, but now you say, oh, yeah, the music is awesome. And I think that's really what also pulls you into it, just like you said.
I agree. Like I think the movies that I've chosen, I think the thing that has brought it in for me is always the music, not anything. Like some things, like You've Got Mail, the music isn't as strong and strong.
No.
Yeah.
But this one, yes, the music is stronger. It draws you in from the 80s perspective and all that stuff.
But have you been singing the songs all week in your head?
Mm-mm.
Ah.
I've been singing other songs in my head.
Yeah.
But I had to rewatch it because I wanted to put all the songs that were like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, this one's in, that was really good.
Mm.
And so I knew 2 of them. I knew Pat Benatar, Love Is a Battlefield, and Thriller. And then I forgot about Jesse's Girl. I had to put Jesse's Girl in.
Rick
Because,
Springfield.
Rick Springfield. Then the Madonna song. It's like, oh yeah, like
Crazy for you?
yeah. It's like, yeah, this stuff's just great.
Just great.
Just great.
Yeah.
Just marvelous and wonderful. But that's what kind of
Hey.
what did
They got the 80s aesthetic of the house.
yeah.
Oh, the basement looking like
Perfect.
that.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
That reminded me of a basement, but like Stranger Things basement too.
Oh, yeah,
where it's just like it's based in the 80s, but
Yep.
it's like it's that same type of
Yeah.
basement.
That's how they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. Watch this
Okay.
movie
Yep,
Yeah.
watch it.
So, how often would you watch it?
every 3 years.
Every 3 years?
I watch it probably twice a year. I just love it so much.
Well, is it you watch the whole movie, or
Yeah,
is
I
it
watched
just the
whole
thriller
movie.
part
No,
that you
Thriller
watch?
I watch, but
The thriller part he probably watches like 10 times a
there
year.
you go.
Yeah.
No, I love the movie. I don't know why I like it so much. Just it's an entertaining movie. And
Yeah.
it's one of those movies I don't even watch and just put it on my phone and
So-
I'm working, cleaning the house and I listen to it.
Yeah.
So- Jennifer Garner's adorable in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Ruffalo is confused and handsome.
Yep.
Like a normal leading man.
No, he's confused at this woman who he hasn't talked to since high school, who threw a dollhouse at him when he was 13.
Yeah.
All of a sudden is talking to him again.
And she became a sixth chick and really disassociated herself with
And
him.
when they're looking through the yearbook and he's telling her about it, he's like, yeah, they were the most miserable years of my life. She's not picking up
yeah.
what he's putting down, that he was in love with her. And
Yeah. And I bet it just crushes him when she says Maddie, Just
Yeah.
like, oh, she's calling me Maddie.
yeah.
That's our little thing.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Very true. I would go in between you guys, probably like every 2 years.
Okay.
Or, just kind of whenever you feel like you need to watch it, really.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Yes, it is.
It warms you up. It, like, watching it twice, to me, it warmed me up to be like, yeah, okay, I can watch this again. Because, like, sometimes when you have a movie, you're just like, I don't really want to watch that very much. But then you give it a shot, and it's like, oh, yeah, this isn't a bad movie. Not that bad. I need to watch this again sometime
Yeah.
in the future, but I should watch it.
Just watch Thriller if you guys don't want to watch it
Yeah.
all the time. Just watch Thriller.
Thriller's pretty good. Or the Pat Benatar girl, Jennifer Garner,
The
and
Sleepover.
Garner,
The
and
Sleepover.
The Sleepover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really good too. That's good. So, watch it. Please rate, subscribe, and leave a comment about the podcast.
Share
Go
it.
and watch the movie. Share, alike. Help us reach out to others. And so, thank you. Have a great day, guys.
Peace.